Welcome to the Build a Purposeful, Profitable Business Doing What You Absolutely Love podcast, hosted weekly by Ange, your business fairy godmother, professional copywriter, published author and business owner of 20 years. In every episode, Ange will deliver useful bite-sized insights to help you find your voice, position your value, demystify the marketing tech, and run your business on your terms.
Welcome to episode 7. And in this episode, I'm talking to Joseph Goh from Hyperfame Digital, which is a digital marketing agency. And Joseph is going to be talking today on the topic of how to sell high-ticket products in just one presentation. And he's going to be talking about doing that without any hard selling, tons of speaking experience or sophisticated technical knowledge, using his easy profit speaking system. So Joseph, welcome to the program. It's so nice to have you here.
Thank you, Ange. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
It's going to be a good interview, I think. Yeah. So I'm very intrigued, and I think our listeners will be very intrigued about this topic because nobody likes to sell. And I think for business owners, they don't want to sell, but it's something that's in a way necessary for their business. They need to get customers, right? Yeah. So, but when you mentioned in your title, you're selling high ticket products. Can you just define that first? What do you mean by high ticket?
Sure. Well, I think in my context, high ticket items, meaning that products or services that is more than 1,000 Sing dollars.
Right. Okay. Got it. Okay. So 1,000 Sing dollars equates to about, 1,003 US or something like that, right? 1,004.
No, USD should be stronger. So 1,000 Sing dollars should be about 700 USD.
Oh, it's lower. The other way around. Okay. All right. So that should take that. I was getting confused. Okay. All right. So, so you mentioned your profit speaking system. So what do you mean by profit speaking?
All right. So, I'd like to share that, in terms of business, right, there are many ways of selling. There are some people that like to actually speak to people one-to-one. So they do one-to-one personal sales, like, for example, certain property agent or even like financial consultant. In profit speaking, what I call it as this term is because, right, I like to speak one-to-many. However, for today's sharing, right, definitely be it whether you are in the one-to-one sales or you are in one-to-many, my system will work for both.
Okay. And it works online and offline?
Yes, correct. It works offline, online, especially now during the COVID situation, right? I'm actually doing a lot of closing over the Zoom. So today, this sharing, right, will be helpful if you are someone that actually need to close sales over the Zoom. So I'll be sharing with you 10 steps on how you can actually close on the spot and collect money over Zoom.
Fantastic. Okay. I think this is a new skill. I think that everyone's picking up at the moment because of the COVID situation. Lots of people are getting experience on Zoom that they probably didn't have before. We're all now Zoom experts.
Thank you.
So talk about your system then. How does it work and who does it work for?
Sure. Well, as mentioned, right, as long as you are a business that you have any product or service that you see there is of value to the market, that means you spot certain problems or pain points in the market, and then, of course, you have a solution that you want to share with this end user. So this works for all businesses that is marketing in terms of service or products, or even if you are selling informations.
Right. Okay. And then how can people apply it to their own business? You mentioned you had a 10-step process. Can you walk us through that?
Sure. Yeah, I'll be very happy to. Well, I will share with you how this 10-step goes, okay? So, you see, at the moment where you actually meet your prospects or actually be like a group of people, right, what you want to do is that you want to let them know who are you so that they can actually trust you and they want to actually buy from you. So number one, the most important, what I like to do is that I like to do rapport building. So rapport building is not like, like probably some of the people, they misunderstood rapport building as well. Oh, hi, Ange, what do you have for lunch? Oh, yeah. Wow, you have a lovely dress. Those are some sort of rapport building, but I would think that that is pretty superficial because if you already know your intention or your purpose of meeting this prospect or clients, so I think you should actually talk about things that is amidst that situation. So like for myself, right, because I represent a digital marketing agency, when I meet my clients, they are usually business owner. So for a business owner, and especially during this period of time, right, one of the best topic to talk about is that, hi Ange, um, how has COVID-19 situation affected your business? So this is a good opening already. So you see,
Right.
the thing about for us as business owner, when we want to actually share more, right, as much as that, we also want to discover, right, what are some of the problems or objectives that our clients or our prospect want to benefit from our service or products. So number
Right.
one, I would say is actually rapport building.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So in that rapport building, you're just trying to uncover the challenges that they're facing that you might be able to then help them with.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So that's number two, number one. And number two is that I always like to do this called intention setting. So intention setting is nothing new, okay? Or probably you have learned from neuro-linguistic programming or some other framework of consultation or project management. The reason of why wanting to set the intention is because you give this person, right, that is going to speak to you, right, a good frame. So whatever you put inside, like for example, a photo frame, right, is what he knows that is going to go about for this. So like for example, what I will share is that usually I will state my intention that like, hi Ange, thanks for meeting me today. Well, my intention is actually to understand more about your business and also see that how I can help you in terms of closing certain gaps from your business. And of course, if we see that we are a good fit, then I'll go on to explain to you how we can go about helping in terms of your business. So in these very short few sentences, right, I set the intention right and I give this person or this prospect a good knowledge of what this probably like this session will covers. So that's number
Right.
two, set the intention.
Okay. Set the intention. Okay. And number three?
Yeah. Number three will be, well, of course, after you have done the rapport building and set the intention, like what you have shared earlier, right? We want to uncover more of their business or more of the problems or challenges that this person or this business is facing. So number three is to get the prospect to share more. So how do we get them to share more? Of course, if earlier the number one and number two, right, rapport building and intention setting, you have done it right, this prospect should have shared more with you about like what are some of the challenges that he's facing. And when he's sharing, right, don't interrupt this person. Let him share fully first. So of course, if you have any questions with regards that you need to know more in depth, you can actually take notes while he's sharing. And of course, after he has stopped, right, then you can come in and ask certain questions that help to clarify and let you understand more about certain problems that he might be facing. So that is actually number three, to get prospect to share more.
Fantastic. So the key there is to shut up and listen, basically.
That's correct. So we have a pair of ears. We only have one mouth, so we should listen more. Yeah, because only when the prospect, right, tell you what kind of challenges that they are facing and also what is the kind of solution or what is the kind of things that they want to solve, then you will be able to help him. If not, right, there are certain kind of I would say salesmen. They do not understand the problem that the prospects or the clients is facing, and they are just pushing product or services to them.
Yeah.
So in short, right, that's the reason why the term called blind selling or hard selling comes about, because they don't understand it.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to sell the wrong thing because they haven't listened to the client. And then also the good point about you saying not interrupting them is if you let them finish what they're saying, they might actually be able to give you something valuable in the conversation that you can use, right?
Correct. So like for me, I always understand that like even though I've actually spoke to many businesses from different industry, but I always maintain a very humble attitude to actually understand more, because I believe everyone, right, they have their own valuable experience that they can share with you. So like what you mentioned, listen to them. We might get certain gold nuggets instead from us to them to us.
Exactly, right. Okay, that's a good point. All right, so step 4.
All right, so number 4 is, of course, you want to understand the objective or the expectation. So you see, when you get the prospect to share more with you, right, they will be sharing with you their experiences, their stories, their frustrations, etc. However, right, that does not mean that they actually tells you the real objective or the expectation. For example, right, if they are going into they want to go into weight loss. So they might be sharing, oh, I have actually severe obesity over the last few years after I gave birth, etc., etc. Then I couldn't stop because I have a sweet tooth. So they will tell you a lot of stories, a lot of experience that they are facing. But at the end, right, they did not tell you what they are actually looking for. Then the whole conversation, right, will not be crystallized. So number 4 is actually to understand the objective or the expectation for them to look for you. So
Right.
you need to nail down to that specific expectation so that you can know whether you are able to help this person or not.
So do you do that through a direct question? Do you directly ask them what their expectation is, or how do you
Yes.
uncover that?
So, well, you see, in sales, right, it's not all about you talking. It's more about listening, right, asking the right question and listening to your prospect. So, like for me, if I have a good ratio, right, usually I'll use about 30-70. So that means I speak 30% of the time and the prospect actually speaks 70%. That 30% of the time, right, usually I'll use it to ask questions that help to shine certain lights or to clarify certain of my the place where I'm not too clear about. So I will be able to understand the objective and the expectation. So that's how we arrive at number 4.
So asking lots of questions to get there. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And number 5?
All right. So number 5 is also very interesting because, well, as much as you want to understand what is the objective and the expectation, right, you want to find out the pain and the problems that they are currently facing. So as mentioned, number 3, they got to share with you the whole chunk of their experience, their unhappiness, their frustration. But again, you want to find that specific pain points or the problems they are facing. For example, I give an example in the business perspective. Let's say, for example, if I represent digital marketing, right, and I need them to share with me that, like, for example, okay, if they say that, oh, I want more leads, I want more business, but I will actually ask question like, can you share with me, like, currently, right, which part of your marketing system do not work, that is not bringing you the leads? Or is it that they are bringing you leads, but the leads is not qualified? So I ask specific question in terms of the process to understand what is the real pain point or problems. So that's number 5.
You're identifying the actual real problem. Right. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And okay. So number 6.
Right. So after going through all this, right, what you need to do is that you need to do something called backtracking. So that's actually very crucial. Why? Because when you're doing backtracking, right, it's almost like if you have actually went through like a counseling or a consultation, right, usually the doctor will actually do the backtracking. That means actually to summarize or crystallize what you have shared earlier in a very clear form, and they will actually ask, is that correct? So if you are doing a backtracking in a correct manner, in a business sense, or when you are actually doing a sales or closing, right, it gives the confidence that your prospect know that you understand what you're exactly doing. And from that confidence, right, they will be able to lean more closer to one step of you closing the deal.
Right. So they get the confidence that you understand where they're coming from. Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Okay. All right. So once you've established that, then number 7.
So you see, after you have actually done the backtracking already, so as mentioned, right, usually I will actually backtrack and say, oh, is that correct? So after I get the acknowledgement from the prospect or the clients that I'm meeting, right, number 7 is offer the solution. So, well, be it which industry or which business that you are representing, be it product or services or information, it works. So definitely you must have an offer for a solution that you want to provide for this person. Like if you are actually a health coach, your offer will be probably like a product. That means a meal replacement to get you to actually lose weight and gain more nutrition. Let's say, for example, if you're a business consultant, your offer could be business model engineering. And let's say, for example, if you are actually a property agent, will be you are giving a deal whereby, okay, I can help you to close your sales, or I can actually help you to market your corporate office, etc. So you got to offer that solution. And of course, when you're offering that solution, right, this is the time for you to talk. So you have to share about, like for example, what is your proven and tested system that works. And of course, to do that, right, you have to incorporate with stories. So I couldn't emphasize more enough that storytelling is actually very, very important and crucial when it comes to doing sales or closing. Why? Because when you're sharing stories, right, you'll be able to shift certain beliefs, or you'll be able to get people more intrigued to listen to you, because you are not making a statement, but you are just sharing stories that help to hold certain beliefs. So that's actually very important.
Right. So it comes across in a very non-salesy manner. You're just having a conversation with them and telling your story along the way. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's offering the solution. Yep. And then, so we go on to step 8 after that.
Okay. So number 8 is, of course, as mentioned, once you offer the solution already, that means you actually share about your system, and now is the time for you to present an offer. So your offer will be, okay, today I'm going to do this for you at this price. So you have already stated very clearly the deliverables and also the price. So this is me presenting an offer. Yeah, because if you have done it correctly from step 1 to step 7, and the person just acknowledge and give you a go ahead. Number 8, do not have to beat about the bush already. Just present what deliverable you have for them, and then of course to present the price.
Okay. So they know then what's on the table. So what do you do in step 9?
Okay, so you see, well, Ange, let's say, for example, if you are being presented with a solution, right, definitely, right, I believe there will be a lot of things that's going through your mind, isn't it? I make a guess, all right. So one of the things that you might have in your mind is that, should I take the action now? Another probably will be, what if this solution that he proposed to me doesn't work? Or another one, do I want to spend this money on this product or service? So did I get it correct?
Okay.
Right. So, well, you see, these are some of these objections that, when you are actually doing sales or when you're doing closing, definitely you'll be encountering this. Because generally, right, I mean, in terms of, let's say, for example, statistics, usually people have at least 3 or more objections, right, to push you away. Yeah. Okay. So number 9 is actually to shift beliefs and overcome objections. So you see, as mentioned, right, if you want to be able to encourage this person to take an action, what you need to do is that you need to shift certain beliefs. Because beliefs actually come from internal or external. Some people, they feel that, you might not be the good fit, or I don't have confidence in you because I only know you on this first meeting. Some of them, they may be thinking that, I don't know whether my business can do it, or I don't know my process is actually capable of delivering this or scaling my business to the next level. So all these internal and external disbeliefs, right, will actually stop them from taking this action. So what you have to do is that if it comes to this section, right, I would say that what you need to do is that you need to share with them success stories or certain stories that's applicable to shift their disbeliefs.
Okay.
Yes. So like for myself, I have like a huge story bank of stories, right, in order to help or apply to different situation or different individuals or business owner that I meet.
I think that's a really important point, and that goes towards being prepared, right? You know, if you're going to enter that situation, you need to be prepared, and you need to have backup information and backup plans, right? So if you can have a story bank that you can pull out any relevant stories that will fit that particular situation with that client, then you're more likely to overcome that objection, right?
Yes, correct. Because if you are coming to step number 9 already, right, you are already the last step towards closing the sales. So number 9 is very important. Because the thing about closing the sales, right, or closing the deal is that I always emphasize one fact is that you do not just listen to the verbal communication via the person that you met, okay, your prospect or your client, but more emphasize on looking at the non-verbal cues. So what do I mean by non-verbal cues is that, well, you see, in the human world, right, in the psychology world, people can actually try to engineer certain replies, even though they might not be very keen or willing or trust you. However, one of the things that is actually very difficult to actually hide is that your smile, your eyes, how you look, and even like how you position your body. So all these are considered something called non-verbal cue. So you have to be very alert to catch these non-verbal cues to know that if this person is being receptive or non-receptive to certain things that you say.
Right. Okay. That's a good point as well. Yeah. So just paying attention to their reactions.
Correct.
And body language, things like that. But
yes, correct.
Might show that they're either shutting down or they're opening up to the suggestions that you're making, right?
Correct. Well, one more thing to take note also is looking towards the non-verbal cues or the body language is important. However, right, not every individuals will actually function the same because, different people have different dominant or representation system. So I put it simply, right, VATK. So V means visual. There are people who are very visual. So I would say majority of the people in Singapore, right, we are pretty visual. Why? Because in school we are actually taught in a way whereby we actually look at like PowerPoint slides, we look at diagrams, we do like the kind of like hands-on work, drawing, etc. So I think in terms of Singapore market, right, it will be more towards the visual side. So if you are meeting people who are visual, right, I think it will be good if you actually have a notebook with you, and then as you are explaining, you actually write down the words or you can draw the diagrams to help them to catch what you are trying to say easier. So after visual will be audio. So there are people who are very audio centric. That means they can actually listen just based on voices, and then they do not really need to look at you. So again, if you are looking at the non-verbal cue, right, you might misunderstood that this person is not interested in your product. But definitely not so. Why? Because these people, they rely more towards listening to what you share rather than looking at you. So if you're focusing on, if you actually realize that this person is very audio, what you need to do is that you need to use certain keywords or more intriguing words to let this person understand or be interested in what you are sharing. So that's more towards the audio part.
Right.
And T is actually tactile. Tactile person means that they are people who will have to look at you and they have to write down things. So like Singapore system, right, education system also produce a lot of tactile people. Yeah, so as we are actually listening to lectures, we're also writing down notes, etc. So there are such people. Yeah. And last but not least is actually very kinesthetic kind of person. So kinesthetic person could mean two things. Feeling as in your emotion feeling, or it could be feeling as in your touches. So for kinesthetic person, right, they are more emotionally inclined, or they need something to actually play with or fiddle with. So let's say, for example, if you are actually selling a product, right, it's best that if you have that product on hand already, so that this person can touch it, feel it, okay, and then understand how it works. If not, right, you just continue and go on and on, right? This person, once the hand is actually empty, right, he might not be able to figure what you're trying to say. So that's pretty much about the VATK, the different dominant representation system for different individuals.
Okay, thanks for that insight. I think that would be very useful for people when they're going into the next sales situation to be able to look for the cues that you've just talked about. Yeah.
Yes, and Ange, what? We have actually covered the first 9 already, right? Rapport building, intention setting, get them to share more, understanding the objective and expectation, finding the pain points and problems, backtracking, offer the solution, present an offer, shift beliefs and overcome objections. And you know what's number 10? We are ready to close and collect the money on the spot.
Okay, so how do you go about doing that?
Well, of course, number 10 is that if you want to close and collect money on the spot, right, you don't go there empty-handed. I always believe in a system. System is the only thing that you can be able to scale your business. If you are doing things just by gut instinct or by chances, right, then of course your business will also go by chances to whether it can expand or not.
Right.
So, well, you see, like for me, right, when I actually go and speak to a client or a prospect, I prepare my contract ready. It's a digital copy. And I also prepare my online payment link ready. So as much
Mhm.
as I actually able to do from step 1 to step 9, this person is already going to onboard with my business, right? So the next thing is that it's only logical for me to actually share with this person that, hey, Ange, so thank you for giving me this time and also trusting me that I will be able to bring your business to the next step with my marketing solution. So now what I need to do is that I need you to go through this contract with me. And then if everything is all right, so please write your name and then sign over here. So the first step of closing, right, is actually get them to sign on the dotted line. So you
Right.
just imagine if you did not prepare the digital contract ready, right? Then most of the people will say, okay, let me consider, I'll get back to you next day or next week, or worst of all, did not get back to you again. So preparing is actually very important. So after signing of the dotted line, and the next thing is that, Ange, so thank you. You have signed up. You have signed on the contract already. So the next thing is actually the payment will be via this payment link. So can you help me to type in your details now? So usually I will actually have the payment link ready and get my client or prospect to be able to make payment on the spot.
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. So that's again another example of being prepared.
Yes.
You have to be prepared to go in. Do you ever then get the situation where either maybe you're not speaking with the decision maker or the person who can make the payment and they have to refer it on? What would you do in that situation?
All right. So I think that will be more towards the pre-qualification stage. So what I'm sharing is that, right, let's say, for example, if we have qualified these clients and we know that this person is the business owner or the decision maker, then from
Right.
step 1 to step 10, right, it will work. But let's say, for
Right.
example, let me give more tips about how to actually get the right decision maker is that this is called the qualification process. So usually what I do is that we actually have a system where we attract the client to get to know us through ads, and then of course to go through our landing page, and then they actually sign up to have an appointment with us. So upon doing that, right, we have actually gotten the information from this person. Like for example, what is the business about? What is actually certain of the pain points, your current revenue, your projected revenue. So from there, we will also know that whether does this person that apply, right, is he the decision maker or is he just an employee like a marketing manager or sales manager. So before I meet this person over the Zoom, right, I will actually get my team to be able to qualify first. So if we know that this is a business owner, then we will schedule a Zoom with this person. Let's say if this person is not the decision maker, we will actually invite him to share with the business owner, right, or the decision maker to join us. Because what we are providing is something that is actually highly valuable. Because be it whether you want to come on board with us at the end, right, is another thing altogether. During the process, right, during the session itself, we will be able to actually help to diagnose and also tell you what are some of the problems or gaps that you're facing and how should you overcome it. So that's how we actually get to qualify to get the decision maker to be on the spot.
Fantastic. Okay. So how if you've got people listening and they're thinking, well, how do I know if I have what it takes to actually do this? What's your response to that?
Well, I think this is something that is actually very important because I have actually coached many sales professionals before, even business owner. Most importantly is that you need to trust that your product or services works. So you just imagine, right, if you are selling a weight loss product and you have not even tried it on yourself, or you are actually not the results of the weight loss product, right, then of course you will not have the kind of confidence and faith that this will work for your prospect or clients. So in that way, right, I'm talking about your congruency. if you are congruent that you know this work, and then you actually market or promote this product, then you will have the full confidence that you are actually having a good intention for that person. So this number one, having faith and trust in your own products. Okay, and number two is also very, very important. So you have to tell yourself, no matter what kind of challenges or objections or obstacles that you will face during the session itself, never take it personally, never get angry, because your intention is you want to help this person. So, well, earlier I've shared about all these steps, right? Let's say, for example, if you have went from step 1 to probably step 5 already, you understand the objective and also the pain points, and you realize that, hey, I may not be the person that you are looking for to fix your problem. Then what you can do is that professionally, let this person know we might not be a good fit because your problem is as such, and my solution may not be able to help you. So just be professional and be very frank with this person. If you can recommend another person to help him, or if not, you can just say, thank you for your time, but I don't want to waste any more of your time or resources, but I realize that I'm not a good fit for your problem. Yeah.
Right.
So you see, if you have managed to go into step 9 or even 10 already, right, that means you know that you can help this person. So you want to provide value. So no matter what you are faced with, do not get angry. Just remember your main objective is that you want to provide help or solution to this person. So this is a very, very important faith that you need to have.
I think that's one of the important things when you're going into so-called selling is just to have the mindset that you're not really selling, you're actually helping them. So you truly believe that you have a solution that is going to benefit them. So you're doing them a favor by offering it to them, and you have an obligation to offer it to them if you think it's the right fit, right?
Yes.
And then the other thing I think is kind of a mindset thing as well is, you said, you kind of hinted at it there about just not being invested in the sale. So you don't get emotionally attached to it. So you're not going to get angry if they raise objections or whatever. So if you don't get it, then you just, okay, leave it. It just wasn't meant to be.
Yes, correct.
Right?
So
Yeah.
There are still many type of situation or scenario that this person might not want to actually go on board with you. It might be that this person is not ready. It might be this person really do not have the resources or the time for you at this moment of time. So I believe in terms of doing sales or closing, right, you need to do it with empathy. So as much as you want to actually help this person, if this person is not ready at the moment, of course, if you sense that this person is totally not ready, then let's not push too much for it. But if you know that this person, you can help, okay, and then if you want to go all out to help this person, then yes, you will push for a close. So you have to empathize. And in terms of this empathy, right, I think there is no specific steps or blueprint to actually share more. It's really the empathy now.
Yeah, you just have to feel it. And then what about in terms of some kind of time factor that they have to take your offer up within a certain time frame? Do you have that kind of pressure selling, or you just believe that if they're ready, they're ready?
Okay, so as mentioned, right, what I will do is that I don't like to actually get this person to push me to I'll get back to you, let me consider, etc. So I will actually make it uncomfortable for this person, because growth really comes from uncomfortable. So I will actually ask like, okay, hi, Mr. Mark. So may I know why do you need more time to consider? Then let's say, for example, he said that, oh, I actually want to think through and have more clarity in terms of what you propose. Then really what I will do is that I will say, which part are you not clear about? Let me explain it to you better. So be it whether what type of I will sense, of course, if it's really forced objection, I will want him to actually let me know which are the parts that he need to clarify. Because as mentioned, right, the number one instinct about human is that if you either fight or flight. So of course, in this situation, let's say, for example, they have actually finished with using all the overcoming objections, etc. Right? They have finished fighting with you, and now the time is for them to flight. So they want to run away from you so that they don't get sold by you. Well, when it comes to this moment, right, I usually will really want to actually hold their attention and help them to logicalize on some of their internal fear. Yeah, some people just don't have the kind of confidence that, yeah, I should really take this opportunity. They will actually tend to have a lot of excuses. You know, like human, we always dream very big, but we have 1,001 excuses of not taking the action. So I want to help them to take action. So if they say that they want to take a few days or weeks to come back to me, I'll definitely ask them why so and try to clear it on the spot. Let's say, for example, really, 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 if they decided that they need more time, let's say, for example, to discuss with another business partner or with wife, then usually I will just say, all right, so Ange, I'll present this offer for you for the next 24 hours. I believe it's sufficient time for you to discuss with the party that's involved, and I look forward to hearing from you tomorrow. Yeah, so usually that's what I'll do.
Right. Okay. All right. Cool. All right. So there's some great insights there. So thank you so much, Joseph, for that. Where can people go now to find out more about your profit speaking system?
Yeah, sure. Well, they can actually look for me in my landing page, but the thing is that landing page is a little bit too lengthy. They can look for me on my LinkedIn or on my Facebook. So my Facebook profile name is called Joseph, Joseph, then Go, Live, Life. So it's called Joseph Goh Life. They can find me on my Facebook or even in Instagram or in LinkedIn. So that's actually my professional name, Joseph Goh Life.
Go Live. Okay. So I will I'll put the link to that below as well in the podcast. And I'll also put a link. You can give me later the landing page
Sure.
URL, and I'll put a link to that as well. Okay.
Thank
so
you,
that's no
Ange.
problem. Be able to send people to the right place, right?
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. So thank you so much for your time today. I'm sure our listeners have got a lot of value and are now looking at selling in a whole new light. So thank you so much for your insights.
Thank you for inviting me. I really enjoy myself very much.
Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.